Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this single truth separates the wealthy from the perpetually broke. I've seen it play out hundreds of times in my 15 years as a financial consultant, and it never fails to amaze me how people miss this fundamental principle. Money is like water. It flows toward value and away from those who don't understand its true nature. Most people chase money directly, like trying to catch water with their bare hands. But the wealthy, they build the pipes. They create systems. They understand that money isn't the destination, it's the vehicle. I learned this lesson the hard way when I started my first business at 28. I thought success meant making money. Wrong. Success means creating value so consistently that money has no choice but to follow you. The moment you flip this script in your mind, everything changes. The broke stay focused on paychecks. The wealthy focus on building assets that generate paychecks while they sleep. Before we dive deep into today's content, if you're serious about transforming your financial future, hit that subscribe button for cash and consequences. And to those of you already part of our community, thank you. You're the reason I keep sharing these insights that have taken me decades to learn. The three-step wealth formula that changes everything. Step 1, skills buy you income. Let me tell you about my friend Marcus. You wouldn't recognize his name, but you've definitely used his software. 10 years ago, Marcus was making $45,000 a year as a junior programmer in Montreal. Decent money, but nothing spectacular. The difference between Marcus and his colleagues wasn't talent, it was understanding. While his co-workers were focused on their next raise, Marcus was obsessed with becoming irreplaceable. He spent every evening learning emerging technologies. Not just following tutorials, but mastering skills that Fortune 500 companies desperately needed but couldn't find. Within 3 years, Marcus wasn't just employable, he was indispensable. His income jumped from $45,000 to $180,000. But here's where most people would stop the story and call it success. Marcus was just getting started. The wealthy understand that your skills are your most liquid asset. They appreciate faster than real estate. They're more portable than gold, and unlike stocks, no one can take them away from you. I've managed over 400 employees across my businesses, and I can tell you exactly who will be wealthy in 10 years. It's not necessarily the hardest workers, it's the strategic learners. The ones who see every challenge as a chance to add another tool to their arsenal. In my consulting firm, I charge $500 per hour, not because I work harder than someone making $20 per hour, but because I've spent 15 years collecting skills that solve million-dollar problems. When a CEO calls me at midnight because their company is bleeding cash, they're not paying for my time. They're paying for the years I spent learning how to stop that bleeding in 30 days or less. Here's your first action step. Identify the one skill that would make you indispensable in your industry. Not nice to have. Indispensable. Then invest every spare hour for the next 6 months mastering it. I guarantee your income will follow. Step 2. Income buys your assets. Now, here's where 99% of people sabotage themselves. They get that first income boost and immediately inflate their lifestyle. Bigger apartment, fancier car, expensive dinners. They mistake looking wealthy for being wealthy. Let me share a story that still makes me chuckle. 5 years ago, I was having dinner with a tech executive in San Francisco. Let's call him David. David was making $300,000 a year, driving a Tesla, living in a $4,000 a month apartment in Soma. He looked successful. He felt successful. But when David showed me his financial statements, I nearly choked on my wine. Despite making $300K annually, he had less than $15,000 in assets. His entire financial strategy was his paycheck. One bad quarter at his company, and David would be financially devastated. Compare that to Sarah, a teacher I know in Lyon, France. Sarah makes $42,000 per year, about $46,000. Not exactly Silicon Valley money. But Sarah understood something David didn't. Income is worthless unless it's converted into assets. Every month, Sarah lives on $2,800 and invests $700. She's been doing this for 8 years. Today, Sarah owns 3 rental properties and has a portfolio worth $280,000. Her assets generate $1,400 per month in passive income. That's 40% of her teaching salary working for her while she sleeps. When I ask people what assets they own, they usually mention their car or their furniture. That's not an asset. That's stuff that loses value. Real assets put money in your pocket every month. Rental properties, dividend stocks, businesses, intellectual property, royalties. Here's what the wealthy do differently. They live on a percentage of their income and religiously convert the rest into income-generating assets. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Not because he can't afford better, but because he understands that every dollar not spent on lifestyle inflation is a dollar that can multiply through compound interest. I learned this principle from reading Rich Dad Poor Dad 15 years ago, but I really understood it when I started tracking my wealthy clients' spending patterns. The millionaires I advise typically live on 40–60% of their income. The rest goes straight into assets. Your second action step: calculate your actual monthly expenses, not what you think you spend, but what you actually spend. Track every dollar for 30 days, then commit to living on 70% of your income and investing 30%. This single decision will determine whether you're wealthy in 10 years or still living paycheck to paycheck. Step 3. Assets buy you freedom. This is the step that changes everything. It's the difference between working because you have to and working because you want to. It's the step that most people never reach because they get stuck in the income lifestyle trap. Let me tell you about real freedom. Freedom isn't having enough money to buy whatever you want. That's just consumption. Real freedom is having enough passive income from your assets that work becomes optional. I have a client in Toronto, let's call her Jennifer, who reached this level 3 years ago at age 42. Jennifer started as a marketing manager, making $65,000 Canadian. She followed the 3-step formula religiously. She developed digital marketing skills that made her indispensable, eventually running her own agency making $200,000 plus annually. But Jennifer's real genius was in step 2. Instead of lifestyle inflation, she bought assets, rental properties, index funds, and a stake in a profitable SaaS business. Today, Jennifer's assets generate $8,500 per month in passive income. Her living expenses, $40,200 per month. Jennifer still runs her agency, but now she works because she loves it, not because she needs the money. She takes 3-month sabbaticals to travel. She says no to difficult clients. She only works with people she genuinely likes. That's what asset-generated freedom looks like. Compare Jennifer to most high earners I know. They're trapped by their lifestyle. The corporate lawyer making $400,000 who can't afford to quit because he has a $8,000 mortgage, private school tuition, and luxury car payments. He's not wealthy. He's a high-income prisoner. The wealthy understand that assets are employees that never quit, never complain, and work 24/7 to make you money. While you're sleeping, your rental property is generating income. While you're on vacation, your dividend stocks are paying you. While you're focusing on what you love, your business investments are compounding. I've seen this transformation hundreds of times in my consulting practice. The moment someone's passive income exceeds their living expenses, everything changes. Their confidence increases. They take better care of their health because they're not stressed about money. They make better decisions because they're not desperate. They become truly wealthy, not just in money, but in time, options, and peace of mind. The psychological shift that changes everything and maybe you don't think about. Here's something I've learned from working with hundreds of high net worth individuals. Wealth is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. Most people know what to do. They just don't do it consistently. The broke mindset asks, how can I make more money? The wealthy mindset asks, how can I create more value? And how can I convert that value into income-generating assets? It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. When you focus on creating value, money becomes abundant. When you focus on building assets, freedom becomes inevitable. I remember reading about how Jeff Bezos thinks about wealth. He doesn't measure success by how much he can spend, but by how many years he could maintain his lifestyle without working. That's the freedom that assets provide. Let me give you a concrete blueprint based on what I've seen work for hundreds of clients. Phase 1, months, 1-6, skill acquisition. Identify the highest value skill in your industry. Invest 1 to 2 hours daily in mastering it. Document your progress and results. Phase 2, months 6 to 18. Income optimization. Leverage your new skills to increase income by 50–100%. Maintain your current lifestyle, no lifestyle inflation. Start converting surplus income into assets. Phase 3, years 2–5. Asset acceleration. Invest 30–50% of income into income-generating assets. Reinvest all passive income back into more assets. Track your passive income growth monthly. Phase 4, years 5+. Freedom achievement. Continue until passive income exceeds living expenses. Maintain and grow your asset portfolio. Work becomes optional. Now let me reveal you the most common mistakes that keep people broke. After 15 years in this business, I've seen every mistake possible. Here are the big ones. Mistake number 1, skills without focus. Learning everything instead of mastering what matters most. I had a client who spent 2 years learning web design, accounting, and real estate simultaneously. He became mediocre at 3 things instead of excellent at 1. Mistake number 2, income without discipline. Making more money and spending it all on lifestyle upgrades. This is the trap that catches most high earners. Mistake number 3, assets without patience. Expecting immediate results and switching strategies every 6 months. Wealth building is like growing an oak tree. It takes time, but the results last generations. Now, the questions that will change your life. Before we wrap up, I want you to answer these questions honestly. What's the one skill that would make you indispensable in your industry? What percentage of your income are you currently converting into assets? How many months could you maintain your current lifestyle if your income stopped tomorrow? These questions reveal everything about your financial future. The wealthy have clear, confident answers. The broke usually don't. Your next steps. Here's what I want you to do in the next 24 hours. Subscribe to Cash and Consequences if you haven't already. Choose one high-value skill to master. Calculate your current monthly expenses. Set up automatic investments for 20% of your income. And please let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what your biggest financial challenge is right now. I read every comment from subscribers first, and I'll personally respond with specific advice. Are you in New York struggling with high living costs? Paris dealing with tax implications? Toronto navigating real estate prices? Let me know. Your specific situation might be perfect for a future video. Remember, skills buy you income. Income buys your assets. Assets buy you freedom. The formula is simple. The execution requires discipline. But the results? The results will change not just your bank account, but your entire life. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, keep building those assets. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a Cash and Consequences video. And if this content provided value, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Sometimes one video can change someone's entire financial trajectory.